to become a professional as well. I mean, how is it for you? Is this, what kind of drives you to want to fight and want to take part as a, and push yourself to be able to prove yourself a little bit in terms of being a fighter?
This is something I mentioned earlier that I've done. I've actually done this for many, many years, and I've done all sorts of things. I've done arts, I've done sports, and this is the one thing, I call it my first true love. It's broken my heart many times, but for some reason I always come back to it. And when I met my husband, I was kind of straying away from it and wanted to take some time, and it was boys and all this kind of being a distraction. And then when I met my husband, we got together, and he realized, he was the one that really helped me realize I have a talent. And we are in a great position right now, not having children, so we had a big talk about it and was like, you know what, he's passed up dreams himself. And he, had that honest conversation with me where he's like, you know what, you have this opportunity and I want to help you achieve this goal and dream you have. And you know what, we can afford to make those sacrifices right now. It actually happened. We got married in 2017, and November of 2018 is when I first went out to Albuquerque. And so being newlyweds, things were so tricky. Everybody was so confused, but nobody really understood, like, look, we are very realistic about this. I have a time frame with this, and I'm just trying to get in and really skyrocket this thing, because I know as an individual and as a fighter that I can actually do that. So I'm very lucky that I have the support of my husband and my family that have just really encouraged me, like, you know what, let's do this now, let's rock it now, and then, when we're ready to start that next part of our lives, that's just going to be, just as much fun, but let's do it now while my body, mind, and energy can hang.
Yeah, when it comes to training to MMA and first getting into training with MMA, what was it like for you to first of all, step on a mat for the first time and to be able to train mixed martial arts? And did something come more naturally to you? Was the grappling more naturally to you? Was it boxing? How was it for you the first time you started training mixed martial arts?
Well, I actually started with Muay Thai kickboxing, and that was, I was a dancer growing up, so being a dancer translated so well to my Muay Thai because of the combinations, the movement. I fell in love with it, and I just picked it up so quickly. And, shortly after that, I fell in love with boxing. And it wasn't until the last couple of years, same thing, I started jiu-jitsu. And I'm one of those, I'm a perfectionist, and I love a challenge. So starting that jiu-jitsu, which I wasn't very good at, luckily I can pick things up very quickly. But the stand-up is where it's at for me, I think, just because of my movement, my footwork, and because of my dance background. And I actually didn't want to do MMA for the longest time. It was very gruesome to me in the beginning. And this was back in, 2008, 2009, when there weren't any women in the UFC, nothing like that. It was still kind of growing. And I would train with the MMA guys, but I wasn't actually thinking of fighting. And I don't know, I think one day something changed in me, and I was like, you know what? I can actually pick up this jiu-jitsu pretty good. I'm having a really fun time learning it, and it's like, why not do everything I love all in one, So I was like, yeah, let's go for it. And luckily, because of my, artistic background, you could say, it translated into the martial arts. So that's something I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, having seen like Invicta, the rise of Invicta, and where it came from, and seeing that there is an end goal in terms of, wanting to get to, maybe Invicta eventually, and then eventually maybe to the UFC. I mean, how's that for you as a motivation? I mean, you were talking about 2008 when there was no women in the UFC. But, right around that time, Strikeforce was having a solid division, and then, once that kind of went away, then Invicta came along, and then, the UFC brought in the women as well. I mean, how's that for you as a motivation to be able to make it to the professionals, and to be able to see that there is an end goal, going into this career?
It's been extremely motivating to just see these women and what we're accomplishing now, because I remember Cyborg in Invicta and watching all of these women back then. And I actually know quite a few people now who have been able to advance into these positions, whether it be Invicta, Bellator, UFC. And these are people I've trained with. So it was one of those, it was kind of like this, I'm very happy for you, but I know I can get there too. And then coming out to Albuquerque and training with the level of talent that is out here, I think was my final confirmation, I can do this and I can actually be really good at this. So that was our deciding factor. It was we're doing so much right now, and I want to kind of keep that going. I want to show, you hear of fighters, either they're liked because of their looks or they're liked because of their fighting style, and there's very few, I think, that have it all, and seeing those people succeed, someone like Paige Van Zandt and all this, they're very intelligent people, and I want to show, the world, it's we're brawlers, but there are many of us that are very intelligent with this as well, and I want to just kind of bring light to that as well.
Yeah,
just chickens in there fighting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the sport's evolved so much since 2008. I've been covering this sport probably since 2007, and it's just been great to be able to see how the reception has evolved and how things have kind of changed. It's kind of interesting, to say the least. But it's great to be able to see, like I said, that there's that end goal now. Besides the fact that, through coaching and technique and all that as well. I mean, have you learned a lot from your teammates about the way that you kind of hold yourself, or, certain things that you have to keep in mind in terms of, going further in your career? I mean, like I said, people like Holly and Michelle have been there, done that, and obviously they could probably impart some words of wisdom in terms of certain things that they've kind of gone through, and you kind of learn from that as well. I mean, have you learned that from a lot of your teammates over at Jackson Wink?
Yeah, it's been amazing because I've had a few girls here and there throughout my martial arts that I've bonded with, because there's very few of us that understand what's going on. And one of my biggest issues before I came out to Albuquerque was just my confidence. I had no confidence in myself, my talent, my ability. And I came out here and I'd walk in the gym with my head down, and you could just tell I wasn't 100% comfortable. And it was really cool to be able to actually come out here and basically reinvent myself, because I'm very good at observing things, and to see how these women carried themselves, and then to become friends with Michelle, and we're at her house, and to hear these different things that they go through, whether it be the weight cuts, changing of opponents, nerves, all these different things. It was just so cool to be like, this is a woman who's, fought in the UFC for how many years, and they still have the exact same thoughts that I do. And it just really, really just helped me, exceed my expectations of like, I'm doing good out here, and I'm happy to have these women around here, and we're all going through it together, whether it's the pros in the UFC or these amateurs trying to get there. We're all dealing with the same stuff. We have the same mentality, and we're just all that's what I love about these girls out here too, is everyone is so supportive. In this game, everyone's out for themselves, and that's, no blaming you, because that's what we're doing. There can only be one at the top. But even with that, to have women around you and a big group of women that are so supportive, it's and encouraging. You'll have Michelle Watterson, who is in a fight camp, 100% focused on her stuff, and you'll have maybe one of the amateur girls who's having a bad day or is an emotional, and she's just talking to her. And to have that and to see that, to witness it, to have it actually done for myself, I've had Michelle come up to me, and she can read you like that, and she came up to me and was like, you know what, it's okay, and we have these days, and it was just amazing, and more confirmation of why I'm happy to be out here, and it was a good move.
You're currently 3-1. You're looking to be 4-1 coming up this weekend. Just looking ahead, do you have a feeling? Do you have a feeling that when you want to turn pro, or is it going to be something that's going to be a little bit more organic? You obviously think that to yourself that you're kind of on a little bit of a clock right now, but tell me that. Tell me that mindset. I mean, not necessarily looking ahead past your opponent, but is that something that's in the back, kind of in your mind when you want to turn pro?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, my husband and I have had some very serious conversations between ourselves and my coaches, and we got to the point where it's like, look, yes, I love this sport, but I need to get something out of it now. I've been doing it long enough, and we, I was hoping to go pro actually in the beginning of this year, and things got delayed, which was no problem at all, and I'm happy I waited, but basically we're actually talking to a couple different promotions right now, actually for a pro debut in December or the new year. And it's like, you know what, I'm 28 years old, I'm not these young up-and-comers who have been doing it since they were little toddlers, and I'm one of those women, I have chosen I don't want to be doing this past maybe 35, I want to give myself a little window, and I have no problem with that. And my husband, is totally on board with that as well. So that's kind of where this timeline has come from. It's like I'm not rushing anything. We're being very smart about stuff. But pro debut is coming within actually the next couple months, I'm hoping. And that's kind of what I'm training for right now, is I have a feeling I may get a short notice call, which seems to be happening with me right now. So I'm kind of training as if I'm getting ready for my pro debut.
Well, it's not unheard of that somebody, maybe fights 1 week and then suddenly fights the next, so so it happens.
Falls, so.
But it'll be interesting. Yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to say the least. I mean, and to be able to fight in, like I said, your hometown this weekend is really cool too. Who will be in your corner coming up this weekend?
So my wrestling coach and basically my main coach right now, his name is Lenny Lovato, and he's gone out with me, because he's based out of Albuquerque. He's come with me to every single fight, and he has an individual that he used to train named Carlos that would, he comes with me. I don't think he'll actually be able to be in the corner this camp, so I think it's going to be Lenny Lovato and my husband.
Yeah, and how much leeway are you going to be? I mean, when are you traveling out to Albuquerque and from Albuquerque to San Diego, and kind of how is that for you to kind of have a little bit of prep time, and B, to be able to have a little bit of time with your husband?
It's really interesting because November will be officially a year I've been out here. And I've actually been out here more than I've been home this past year. And I think that was just became reality, as that time is kind of approaching. And same thing, it's the longer I've been out here, it's very difficult, When I had my dogs out here, it was a little bit easier because I had some sense of home. But now, it's just me, and it's really difficult. But I've told him and he understands too. It's like, look, once I'm pro, we will be able to slow things down a little bit and just really enjoy this career. Right now, we're sacrificing so much just because I have a bit of I got a bit of a fire under me, and I'm